Hi, this is Shai, and welcome to another episode of Straight Line to Good Relationships. Are you having trouble with your relationship? Or do you feel like you and your partner were stuck in a rut? Well, don't worry, because today we will talk about the top 5 ways to bring back that spark in your relationship. And I bet you can't wait to hear number 1. But before the big reveal, please do us a favor. Subscribe to our channel and hit that bell button so we can keep you updated about tips and ideas. And remember, the shortest distance between you and a better life is just a straight line. Remember the time when you had your first phone? I mean, for some of us who are just a little bit older, these phones were big and clunky, to say the least. Oh, but just remember that excitement of being able to carry on your conversations without your mom or your entire family listening to your petty chit-chat. However, just like anything that we own, the excitement eventually dies down, and we can't wait to trade in that super bulky phone for something better. But that's the same with relationships. People are complex human beings that are constantly changing. We evolve. And sadly, we can't be the same person we were 10 years ago. Now, the difference between phones and relationships is that you can just throw the last one away. Not without a little bit of drama, of course. Now, if you are experiencing issues or things just got insanely boring, our tendency is to go into the I not enough? Or what's wrong with me phase? Or something along the lines of, how did we get here? When the first sign of trouble appears, we start having doubts like, is this really the right one for me? Sorry to break it up, but marriage is hard work, not like some happily ever after ending you read in a book. While you might go around wondering what happened, the thing is, sometimes it's not just all about you. There are personal issues, problems at work, financial difficulty, and even the not-so-fun midlife crisis can come into play. Talk about a lot of issues. But experts believe that there is one key thing that can bring back that passion. Want to know the secret? It lies on that mystery hormone called dopamine, or as Von Bell describes it as the Kim Kardashian of molecules. To simplify it, dopamine is one neurotransmitter that is responsible for making us happy, the driving force that pushes some to be motivated, to be in love, or others to get addicted, go into an affair, or having lustful desires, and pretty much all sins there are on this planet. You might notice that at the start, you and your partner's dopamine levels were soaring high. But you can't sleep. Your heart was pounding. You can't focus. However, as things settle down, the dopamine level decreases. The sparks just weren't there anymore. And that's where most of the marital problems begin. So, does that mean that we should discard our partners like we do with our old phones? Definitely not. Well, maybe my last boyfriend. The good news is that there are amazing ways to amp up the dopamine. To start with, here are the top 5 ways to rekindle your relationship. I bet you couldn't wait to hear number 1. Number 5. Avoid the polka protest. The 5th best way to rekindle your relationship is to avoid the protest polka. Remember the time when a petty argument about who left the toilet sit-up became a full-blown fight? Well, there are no winners in these fights. Remember that movie War of the Roses? Yeah, that did not end well. What often happens when couples fight is that one partner becomes overly critical and aggressive, while the other withdraws. This is known as the protest polka. According to Dr. Sue Johnson, This pattern of aggression and withdrawal can become a deal breaker. While some small fights might not necessarily lead to divorce, over time, the buildup of anger and frustration can lead to unhealthy and toxic relationships. In another research by Dr. John Gottman, couples that go through this process of aggressiveness and withdrawal within the first 5 years of their marriage have a greater chance of divorce. So how do you avoid the protest polka? You burn your grudges. And we mean literally burn them. Yes, it is important to validate your emotions. Allowing yourself to be upset or even wallow in your anger whenever your partner pisses you off is healthy. What is even more critical, though, is that you set a time limit of a few minutes, no more than a day, for being angry. When you are done, write it down, burn it. No, not the house, the paper, and forget. Never go to bed angry. Instead, soften your voice and give your partner a compliment. A simple act of validation and gratitude will spark up the dopamine rush you both need. Number 4. Extend kindness to yourself. The fourth best way to rekindle your relationship is to extend that kindness to yourself. Oftentimes, we sacrifice our own personal happiness for that one person. This could be our best friend, our lover, our caretaker, our shopper, or a lifelong partner. And we forget to extend a little love to ourselves. Girl, do you know how much pressure that is? Find ways to be kind to yourself. Read your favorite book. Find a new hobby. Pursue a new passion. You know, the best thing in life is to grow as an individual. And that will spill over into your relationship where you grow together. Now that's awesome! Number 3. Putting off sex. Yes, I said it. The third best way to rekindle your relationship is to put off sex. You might wonder, for a neurotransmitter that deals with sex, lust, and pleasure, why should you take it off the table? According to a couples therapist, Julianne Morris, momentarily putting off sex can take off the pressure from both partners. Rather than focusing on how you are performing in bed, why not take the time off to rekindle that romance and establish a personal connection? Now, because sex is off the table does not mean that you can lounge around in your sweatpants and do nothing. Instead, Morris suggests that the couple should work on trying to build anticipation, which leads to sex. It's all about creating sexual buildup and tension, like kissing and holding your partner, but not letting them get to the second base. Tease and keep them guessing. Plain and simple, teasing your partner amp up his dopamine. Here is something you can try. Text him that sexy photo of yourself while he's at the office. That should fire up his dopamine. Rather than remembering the long list of groceries he has to pick up on the way home, he will be thinking about that cute and not so innocent message you sent. Guess who's racing home early? Number 2. Get lots of sex. Yes, the second and seemingly most obvious way to rekindle your relationship is to have lots of sex. According to Dr. Joel D. Block, co-author of the book Sex Comes First, 15 Ways to Save Your Relationship Without Leaving Your Bedroom, the advice is simple. Just do it. Based on the book, Block writes that of the many forms of couple intimacy, a smile across the room, a kiss, a touch, sex has the potential to be the most powerful positive physical experience most of us enjoy. When you have sex, it's not just the level of dopamine that gets amped up, but another neurotransmitter known as oxytocin, or the love hormone. This is crucial because while we can get a dopamine boost on pretty much everything that gives us pleasure, like exercising, eating, watching porn, or sliding into someone's DM, oxytocin, on the other hand, helps us to form an emotional bond. It's the one that makes us feel loved. So going back to sex, even Dr. Morris sometimes advised couples to do it for 30 days straight. Yes, you heard it right. Morris believes that for those couples who had been in a long committed relationship, it would be nice to anticipate and have something to look forward to at the end of the day. Whew, that's tiring. Oh, and don't forget the KY. Now, who's up to the hashtag 30-day challenge? Anyone? How about hearing number 1? For number 1, it is all about getting that adrenaline rush. This is it. The number 1 way to rekindle your relationship is to increase your adrenaline. I mean, aren't you surprised that it is not sex? But the most foolproof way to get that dopamine going is to try new and exciting things together. One of the most common reasons why the spark dies out is that we become complacent. We slide into a routine and monotony. And over time, things just flatline. Sometimes we are putting our relationship on the back seat over career and chores. And the list is endless. By trying new things, you are flipping that pattern that you had both grown used to. It's just like remembering that happiness when you had your new phone, or when the relationship was just starting out. That's what we are going after. So if you are on a more extreme side, why not go bungee jumping? Explore a new hiking trail? Even something as simply trying a new restaurant, a new hobby, or well, booking a hotel. It's that unfamiliarity, that break, an escape that will surely open the dopamine floodgates. Did you like our video? If you did, please give us a thumbs up and comment down below on what new activities you can't wait to try out with your partner.